Chapter 3. A little Anxiato has returned with her boyfriend. Tang raised his voice to look at his valuable watch and said, 30 minutes late. You must develop a good habit of punctuality. She thought angrily, the next time I'm 30 minutes late, we'll see what you'll do to me. But she didn't have the guts to say that. The man could frighten her with only a cold look. At the Civil Affairs Bureau, the staff was efficient. Soon after, the two red books were respectively distributed to Tang and Anxiato. On the way out of Civil Affairs Bureau, Anxiato immediately asked, when are you planning to divorce? I'm ready for it. She felt that the man was impulsive and would divorce her right after the impulse had passed. Tang frowned as if displeased by her words. His eyes swept over her and he said, you can't leave a military marriage. What? What do you mean? Anxiato was shocked. What happened? What marriage can't end? I'm a soldier. He felt that his silly little wife's reaction was a little too slow. Soldier? Anxiato was blindsided. Holy shit. Why does it feel like this is a huge pit I still can't climb out of? Tell me about my father and mother-in-law, Tang asked. They shouted very smoothly. What are you trying to say? Anxiato asked. Was he investigating her family? Let's visit them, he said honestly. Huh? No need. Anxiato waved her hands hastily and refused. He wanted her parents to know that she didn't come home last night because she had a one-night stand with a stranger, and then this one-night stand became her legal husband. The consequences could be unimaginable. Speak. His voice was cold and commanding. Anxiato trembled. Whatever he asked, the only thing she could do was to answer truthfully. An hour later, Tang and Anxiato appeared again in front of the Ludu district. Hey, we need to discuss something. Anxiato held onto her seat belt with both hands, and she said in a voice filled with fear and nervous, I have a name, you can call me husband. He corrected her with a cold voice. Anxiato thought for a moment. Tang Yunshan. I don't like being called by my full name. He interrupted her without expression. You can't call me by my full name, just call me Yuchen. Anxiato shook her head. No, it was too ambitious, so she couldn't shout it out. However, calling him husband seemed more ambitious. She bit down on the tip of her tongue and mustered up the courage to shout, Yu Chang! It's not very easy to say. Practice more in the future. Tang was satisfied with her performance. My parents are very traditional people. Can you not tell them that we've already gotten a certificate and got married? I'm afraid they won't accept it. So let's say that we're dating. Tang was silent, so she couldn't guess what he was thinking. After a few seconds, he said, I understand. He got out of the car, walked around the co-pilot, opened the door for her, and then walked her into the neighborhood with a gift. Anxiato's heart raced as her brain buzzed. It was as if she was being chased to the execution grounds. When the neighbors of the same district saw Anxiato with an extraordinarily handsome man, they all curiously surrounded them. Anxiato, is this your boyfriend? You brought him home to see your parents? Auntie Zhang gave the two of them an ambitious wink and said to herself, You're usually very dull, but I never expected you to have such a unique eyesight. Congratulations. Maybe this is just the luck of a fool. Auntie Lee looked at the tall and imposing figure of Yu Cheng, and her tone was somewhat sore. She thought that her daughter was much smarter and prettier than Anziato. How come she had never met such an outstanding man before? God's not fair. When are you going to get married? Auntie Wen asked next. Where does your boyfriend work? What does his family do? They were all asking questions. Anziato was unable to answer anything. She could only smile bitterly. This isn't a boyfriend. This is a clearly trafficker who smuggles girls from a good families. Excuse me, aunties. We are in a hurry, so let's talk some other day. Tang Yuqing relieved her at the right time and distributed a bag of high-grade imported sweets and fruits to the aunts. Good, good, good. Then we won't bother you any longer. We just saw Anziato's father come back. You guys go quickly. When the aunties heard him, they could not ask any more questions. Seeing the Tang was nice enough to bring some candies and fruits to share with them, their affection for him began to rise. Did you expect to meet the aunties when you were shopping at the mall? After all the aunts had dispersed, Anziato asked curiously. When he was buying candies, she talked him out of it, saying her parents didn't eat much sugar. No one expected to run into those aunties as soon as they entered the district. It was very fortunate. Be prepared, he replied coldly. Anziato had to admit that he was very meticulous. When she reached the front door, he suddenly felt nervous. She suddenly felt nervous, frightened, and wanted to withdraw. Tang Yucheng took a glance at her and rang the bell. Hey, what are you doing? Anziato was trying to stop him, but it was already too late. She wasn't ready to tell her parents yet. Leave everything to me. Not long after saying that, the door opened. Excuse me, Ziato's mother saw the tall and straight Tang Yuzheng. Then her daughter and Ziato. This is... Hello, auntie, I am... Before Tang could finish his sentence, Anziato interrupted. Boyfriend. Mother, he is my boyfriend. Actually, Anziato was afraid that he would speak carelessly, saying that he was her husband or something like that. Anziato's mother was stunned for a few seconds before she shouted into the room. Husband, this is incredible. Our little Anne has written with a boyfriend. When Anne's father heard the noise, he rushed out. He saw the tall and handsome man standing beside his daughter. He was stunned for a moment. Coming back to his senses, Anne's father suppressed his shock and invited the two into their hall. Come in, let's talk inside. Anne's father sat on the sofa and looked at Tang Yujing without saying a word. This man's aura was too sharp and strong. No matter how hard he tried to conceal it, he could not hide it. He was clearly an extraordinary person. The cold and handsome face seemed familiar, but he could not remember where he had seen it. Anziato had sat beside Tang Yunchung feeling extremely nervous. You're my daughter's boyfriend, he asked seriously. Anziato replied, Yes, he is my boyfriend. He didn't ask you to speak. I didn't ask you to speak. He scolded his daughter and turned to Tang Yunchung. I want you to say it, are you? Yes, Tang Yunchung replied. Name, age, what do you do, family status? Anne's father asked several questions in quick succession.